Well, today we begin the book of First Chronicles, and I feel like I should give you a little background because First Chronicles is probably not a book you're terribly familiar with. First of all, like Samuel and Kings in the Hebrew Bible, Chronicles is just one book. And in fact, in the Hebrew Bible, this is where the Hebrew scriptures originally ended and it came to a conclusion. And Chronicles is another telling of the story of Israel from the creation of the world up into the beginnings of the Persian Empire, and summarizing the period from all the way from Adam to King Saul. That is where the first 9 chapters go, and the first 9 chapters are filled with genealogies. I have to tell you, you may find the first 5 chapters especially not the most scintillating, because it's just this person and then that person and that came from the next person and the next person. 4 or 5 chapters. But eventually the book will move on in chapters 10 through 29 to deal extensively with the reign of King David. And David is really looked at in Chronicles as he is the preeminent, the best, the model king, and the shaping of his kingdom and the holy temple in Jerusalem with all of its attendants and Levites and singers, and the rewards and punishments that are linked to obedience and disobedience. All these are part of the themes that you're going to see and hear in Chronicles. And our first verse of the day, it's not easy to find a verse of the day in the first 5 chapters of Chronicles. I simply chose verse 28 of chapter 1, where it says, the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Ishmael. Now, this is simply part of this long series of describing the place of Abraham and his descendants among all the nations. And Chronicles begins with tracing the origins of people and different groups of people, even those we now know as Indo-European, the Greeks, those from North Africa, for really all the known world. And as obscure, or maybe even as irrelevant as some of these chapters may seem to you, pause and just think for a moment how remarkable it is that we have the names of all these different individuals who lived more than 2,400, 2,500 years ago or more. That's incredible. Where would you find that anywhere else in the world? And in most cultures, it's oral tradition that carries on whatever stories or names have been perpetuated and remembered through the generations. But to have so many hundreds of names as we have in our Bible is really a remarkable testament to the story of faith that we have and who we belong to, both in terms of God and the peoples of the earth.